Hey there, what's going on? What's going on? Listen, this is my first, episode or what so of a Man's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Winfred Dapney, but everybody, call me Boom. But this podcast will be dealing with everything men. It's a place where men vent, talk about relationship, mental health, mental wellness, your physical health, all that. You know what I'm saying? Struggles with, depression or oppression or whatever it may be. But man's corner. You know what I'm saying? So I start off this episode with dipping into, some of my struggles. All that know me, I was, married for quite a bit of years. That ended. Some things. You know, didn't transpire, and some things happened, but it's all good because everything we do is a lesson, and everything ain't you know to be last forever, but everything is to prepare you for the next season, for the next stage in your life. We're not enemies. There's no bad blood. There's still love there. But we was going to separate directions. But with that being said, I just want to. I myself struggle with some depression and oppression, and if people don't know, my ex-wife, we was pregnant a few times, and she had, we lost a total of 8 kids. But this last one, Wisdom, she was full term. She was, we thought this was it. Because at first I didn't get excited about it. I didn't, I was just, for 1 month, it is what it is. 2 months, I still like, it is what it is. I ain't gonna get excited. I ain't finna be looking on Amazon. I ain't think about planning no baby shower. Then 3 months came. Oh, okay. And 4 months. Now I'm like, okay, this is it. This is it. Finally, you know, 39 years old, I believe it was at the time. This is it. 5 months came. Oh yeah, this definitely it. 5.5 months of water broke. Had to go to the hospital and whatnot. Had to go in and they like, baby ain't got no heartbeat. We need to, induce your labor. You need to, push him out. And we went through all that, but he didn't make it, and it crushed me. It broke something in me that I never, that I never been broken in my life. I still was struggling with, the loss of my dad, the loss of my father. And I was still mourning that, and I never truly mourned the other losses because I was, being strong for her, and and holding her down and making sure she stayed together. But when Wisdom passed, it broke something in me. It broke me like I never been broke before, and it pushed me into like a super dark place. Oppression and depression for sure. Contemplating suicide. I wanted to end it all. I was so hurt and broken. Couldn't sleep. Started drinking. Stopped praying. Stopped reading the word. I left the ministry and everything, and I just, was doing my thing. I was spiraling. I was back outside. Me and my wife, we had been separated at the time. The divorce wasn't final, and I was just spiraling, man. I was in a dark place, man, and those in the ministry who knew I was in the ministry, the disappointing part about that is, instead of them reaching out and trying to see what was going on with me, instead of them reaching out in trying to encourage or pray. They judge, they laugh, they look. And it's a sad thing that you're supposed to be men of God and you're supposed to have the Holy Ghost and the Spirit of the living God. And you see my crash out on social media. You see some of the things that I haven't done in 20 years or whatever. You've seen, the heavy drinking the child gone and the separation. And not one of them brothers reached out, text or call. When I was going through what I was going through, that's one of the saddest things, because if you say you're a man of God and you got the Holy Spirit or whatever, the Bible says if your brother is overcome by his trespasses, he that is spiritual go restore such a brother in the spirit of meekness, considering yourselves. That part I never got. But one thing I did have was a praying mama, a praying sister, a praying auntie, and a sovereign God. And what sovereign means is he understands our pain, our struggles, what we're dealing with. He understands that ain't my son right now. Grief have took him to a place that he never been. He don't know how to grieve. He don't know how to express. The hurt that he's feeling, he never felt. The disappointment that he's feeling, he never felt. So by him being a sovereign God, he didn't allow the enemy to kill me when I was out there. He didn't allow the enemy to cut me down, but his grace was still yet sufficient for me. And even when I didn't want to be kept, he was yet keeping me. And sometimes as men, we hide our depression, our oppression. My therapist, he calls it functional depression. He says functional depression. How you have like functional alcoholics is functional depression. You socializing, but in the side you really dying. Inside you really dead. Inside you really just gone. You know what I'm saying? So you drinking, you partying, you flirting, you doing whatever you doing, but you really depressed. And the people don't see that when you go back to the house. Yeah, I make plenty money, got plenty stuff, and then had homes and all that, and purchased homes and sold homes and all that, and 6 figures, and that's good, and but that stuff don't mean nothing, man. Don't people look at your status and your money or your level or your accomplishments? But man, you got a lot of men struggling internally. You got a lot of men struggling with depression, oppression, don't know how to grieve properly, don't know how to mourn properly, don't know how to express their emotions properly, and you got a lot of men who need to open up, who need to talk, who need to express themselves. But when you was born in the 80s and you was raised in the 80s and the 90s, we were told don't be no punk, don't be crying, all that sensitive stuff, and don't be expressing emotions and all that. So it was wrong, but a lot of us are still in that stage. I thank God that I took the time for therapy and worked on myself and healed myself. But you still got a lot of men right now today struggling and really need some healing, really need some deliverance. Struggling with emotional intelligence, struggling with how to, properly love their woman. How to properly love their kids. They think, just money and that's it. But you got a lot of men, but they don't know this platform here is a non-judgment platform. This platform here is for, men who are struggling. I pray throughout the episodes, throughout topics, as I bring guests on, as it get established, how I desire for it to be established. I pray that it touches men in areas that need to be touched. Because let me be honest with you, sometimes the scripture won't do. Sometimes, a preacher preaching to you and the word, sometimes you got to be ministered to from another man to man who've been there, who know the hurt, who know the pain, who know the suffering, who know the loss, who dealt with the oppression and depression and the suicide attempts and the suicide thoughts, because a lot of men suffer in silence, man. You got a lot of men truly suffer in silence, and until we get truly healed, truly delivered, we really ain't no good to our community, to our women, to our children. We can be better men, but we can't be judgmental men. That's number one. Number two is we got to learn how to celebrate other men wins. I truly believe the reason why I'm so blessed is because I learned how to celebrate other men. I learned how to give other men props. I learned how to clap in the background as well up front. There's never been the envious thing in my heart or my mind. There's never been nothing that's, ill will or towards anybody. When it's your time, it's your time. We all have birthdays and we all learn how to celebrate, men. So this is what this platform is about. This is what this podcast is about. It's called Men's Corner. And it's for men. It's no, don't get me wrong, women ain't excluded, and I'm gonna have women guests on, and women have a perspective, because you got a lot of single mothers raising men and doing their best to raise men. So but this platform, this called Men's Corner, is for men. We can vent, talk about whatever we want to talk about, relationships, whatever whatever. No topic is off limits, but I believe men need a true safe place, with no hidden agendas, none of that. Just men venting, talking, relaxing, expressing themselves. And one thing I want to say this: if you got to holler, man, holler. If you got to cry, cry. If you got to walk, if you got to run, if you got to get a boxing gloves and punch, the punching bag, whatever you got to do, you got to release that stuff. The grieve, you got to grieve. Let the grieving process handle. And there's no limit on how long you need to grieve, but you need to grieve. But don't let that grief push you to a dark place where you become oppressed and depressed and want to take your life, because I'm a living witness. It'll do it. But grieve, cry, mourn, yell, whatever it is. Some of y'all done lost mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, kids, marriages, whatever. Go through that grieving process. Cry, man. Holler. Do whatever you got to do, man. Yeah. Go to the gun range. Whatever you got to do, bro, do it to release that. Do not grieve. All that, I got to be strong. I got to show face. I got to hold up the family. Nah. Grieve. You lost your mama, holler, cry, whatever. You lost your daddy, your sister, your brother, your child. Let that stuff go, bro. Breathe, man. Breathe. Yeah. Pray, whatever works for you, but don't let nobody make you feel like you ain't a man. If you crying, if you broken, if you hurt, listen. If you the best way to be healed is get to a broken place. Recognize you broken. Recognize you need some help. Recognize you need some healing. Recognizing that you need some strength. When you get to that place, that's the best place to get, because you saying, I know I'm hurt. I know I'm wounded. I know I'm messed up. but now I need to do something about it. I need to seek some help. That's a counselor, therapist, your friend, your pastor, whoever. The most important thing is get the help that you need. And if you're gonna, confide in a friend, make sure it's a real friend. Make sure it's somebody who really want to see you win. Somebody who want to see you heal. Somebody who want to see you deliver. Somebody who want to see you make it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who want to hold you up. Somebody who gonna be praying for you, and in your corner. Because it's hard to say and sad to say, but some day ones ain't your day ones no more, and it's sad, but it's just the reality, and I guess life, and they dealt the bad hand, or you might have kind of elevated path. I don't know what it is. I really don't, because like I said, I've never been a hater, but just make sure if you confide in that person, that's somebody who want to see you do good. But you got to heal. You know what I'm saying? You got to let it go. And like I said, when I lost my son Wisdom, man, listen. Man, I was in that hotel. Listen, boy, I had that Glock to my head. And I was ready to squeeze. And one thing about Glocks, don't never jam. That's number one. Glocks don't never jam. They even got a safety. You cock it back, you squeeze, that's it. But when you got a call on your life and God invested a lot in you, and He understands what's going on, and Yeshua's on the right hand of Him making intercession for you, He intervenes spiritually. That thing, that Glock, that bullet, I don't know, it turned whatever, but it didn't come out. And that second time, I was about to do it, phone rung. Somebody, hey, what you doing? And I'm chilling. And they like, hey, I'm coming, we finna da-da-da-da. And that saved my life. You know what I'm saying? And I had time to kind of reflect and, thank God. And, I had time to like, you know what? No, I ain't gonna take my life. But it still took me some time to get back to boom. It took me some time to get to a heal place and a deliver place. It was so tough sometimes. I would watch my partner and them taking their kids to school, like on Facebook or prom or something, man. I just cry, man. Just weep, just weep. Not out of jealousy, but weep, out of my loss. I never get the opportunity. And I watch certain movies, about the father, and I would just weep and cry, man. But I'm good now. I'm healed. I'm delivered. I celebrated 43 Monday. 43 years Monday. So it's attainable. It's doable. Healing is necessary though. I'm in a super good place. I'm in a super happy place. So, but it can happen. I'm telling you. But you got to go through the grieving process. But don't let the grieving process push you where it pushed me, because I wasn't grieving properly, and because I didn't grieve properly, and I had my dad death on top of my son death. It pushed me to a bad place. The aim I want to be here, and so grieve, man. Grieve. If you lost a child, you're a father. You gotta be there for her, and she gotta be there for you. You gotta grieve together. But you can't be like, nah, I'ma be strong and I'ma hold it in and I'ma Nah, man, that stuff will destroy you. It'll kill you, man. It'll kill you for real. It'll kill you. It'll kill you. But, like I said, healing is the most important part. And the only way you're going to heal, you got to recognize that you hurt, that you wounded, that you afflicted. That you are dealing with something that is unbearable. Like you can't cope with it. But one thing about it, God in your corner, He'll help you get to the point that you can see yourself in the mirror and you get the necessary help you need. Don't let them, hey, therapy is good. If you was born in the 70s, 80s, you're a black man, you should go to therapy. Or with a phone, however it is, I'm telling you, you should go to therapy. You should truly go to therapy, and ain't nothing wrong with it. Boy, you'll be amazed how much stuff open up. You'll be amazed how you know how to love properly. You'll be able to communicate properly. You'll be spiritually aware. You'll know how to verbalize your feelings, your emotions. You'll know how to, to talk to your significant other and break down. And this is what I like and I don't like, and what I'm feeling, and what I'm telling you, man. Therapy will unlock some things in you, man, that you'll be emotional intelligent. That you'll love that woman like she ain't never been loved before. You'll love that child like you never loved before. I'm telling you, man. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you guys not great fathers, because, man, I know, man, my guys are outstanding fathers. I seen it with my own eyes. I seen the time, the interaction. I seen the gift giving. I seen the going all out. I seen the sports events and all that. So, and to be honest with you, most of us didn't grow up with a father in the home. We didn't have a two-parent home, and the dad was there all the time and took us to the games and all that type of stuff, and took us to the park. We had our coaches. We had, great coaches, and thank God that we had coaches that we ain't had to worry about trying to touch on us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had them. Shout out to Coach AD, rest in peace, and Trimble, and rest in peace, Coach Motown, and Coach House, Coach Maul, Coach Streeter, Coach Tim. You know what I'm saying? We had Coach T. We had a lot of, great coaches, Coach Vernon. Shout out to Vernon and Torn, man. You know what I'm saying? We had, some great coaches who took time, and trained us properly, and you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, listen, we was in this gym league, first gym league, and before we joined the gym league, Jared and his brother them was on the team. They used to run the gym league. Man, we joined that gym league. Listen, we were champions in the gym league and in the regular park league. And our coach was AD. It was about 10 of us, man. Me, Zard, Phil, Keon, you know what I'm saying? Jay Willie, it was probably about 10 of us. AD, you know what I'm saying? And man, listen, Coach AD used to used to put us in that little 626 Mazda, man. We be packed in, going to Central, playing that Central and all that, man. But listen, I'm telling you, it's very important to have, good male figures in your life. And man, we balled out. We won the gym league and the regular league. But it's very important to grieve. That's all what I'm saying. But yeah, man, we had some great coaches. We had to worry about them, trying to touch us. They was coaches, and They were strict and they would get on us. And, I remember we used to steal them free lunches, and Coach T would chase me and Milkman across the field. You know what I'm saying? But it was all love. But it's important for men. Listen to me, man. Grieve properly, man. Go to therapy. Heal, vent. And I want to say something to the ladies. If you got a man and he confining you, and you have created a safe space that he can confide in you, one thing I want to say is this: don't weaponize it. If he opened up to a place that he can confide in you, don't weaponize what he told you. Don't use it against him when y'all get in an argument or a disagreement. Don't hit below the belt. Because number one, you ain't a real woman if you do that. Because if that brother opened up to you, that means he trusts you. And you should have enough emotional intelligence to hold what he told you and not use it against him when y'all disagree or when you angry or when you mad. You should never do that. Because it had to be you with him or you was with him. So he couldn't be all the F this and all that when you first got him. So it's very important as a woman, when they open themselves up to you like that, hey, and they confide in you, women, don't weaponize it, man. Don't use it against them. Because all he's doing is you is his therapy. You is his safe space at that moment. So he confining you